Good evening, welcome to another episode of the Dugout, and I think we are at our peak excitement levels because we are just 2 sleeps away from the start of that one series that we always wait for, the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Especially when it happens in Australia, it brings with it a lot of excitement. India go there having won the last 2 series. Will they be able to do this time? Well, for that, to check out our big preview episode that we did a couple of days ago where we made our predictions. But what we're going to do today, as we always do in the lead up to a test match, as I said, just 2 days to go, is going to be picking the ideal 11 that we think is the best chance for India to win the Perth test match. Not the 11 that the Indian team will play, that may not coincide with our best 11, but nonetheless we'll try and pick what we think will be the best 11. Before we dive into that, my two younger colleagues can tell us what's the latest from Perth, because we've had loads of videos already up on Sports Today, whether it's press conferences, inside details of practice sessions. So maybe Shashwat and Siddharth can give us 50% of. Maybe one of you can give us the practice details, what happened. The other can tell us about fitness details. Shubman Gill.
I'll start with the press. Just before we get to the press conference, I was just thinking about this thing that we talk about this a lot, that IPL started killing Test cricket and all of these things. But for some reason, I personally, even I thought that I would be more excited for the auction that is coinciding with the Test match and all of these things. But for some reason, maybe it's just Test cricket and that's why people call it the purest form. I am much more excited for the Test match. It's just subconscious. I don't know why.
But you're not comparing apples to apples. If it was an IPL match and this, right now you're comparing auction.
But auction is much more interesting than the matches also, on given occasions.
But hold your horses, because auction is still a few days away.
Yeah,
here on Sports Today only you will be doing.
I personally, if I just consciously think about this fact, I think I'm much more excited for the auction. But I don't know, because of some reason, since morning, since yesterday, the main thing that has taken all my thoughts has been the Test match.
Very good.
That's really surprising.
It's lovely. Lovely to hear. Lovely to hear. But just to let you know that once the match starts, we will have a post-match, as we always do. Only on the first day, we'll of course have a pre-match before the first ball is bowled, and then post-match. And then every day we'll have just a post-match live show. In the middle, we'll keep having a lot of other videos and lives in case there is some major updates from Australia. But mostly show that we're going to focus on is going to be after the day's play. We'll have a live show, so we hope you can join us for that. But during the first 2 days of the Test match, we will also have our dugout, which will try and focus on
auctions.
Secondary.
Secondary.
Yes. So we'll do both those things. So आप बने रहिएगा हमारे साथ, is what I can say.
It's going to be a very exciting weekend.
So who's going to tell us about the practice and who's going to tell us about Shubman Gill?
I'll tell about the practice details.
Okay. What's the juicy bit coming out from there?
The India number 4, he faced a barrage of bouncers from Jasprit Bumrah and Prasidh Krishna. That's what I could spot from the visuals, and he looked good while facing that.
Virat.
I think, and I think there was just one delivery that against which he struggled a bit. I think that bounced on him a bit, but I think that's something can be expected on a bouncy Perth track. Devdutt Padikkal, he practiced ahead of Abhimanyu Ishwaran, someone who was initially picked, in India's 18-member squad for the BGT, and he also looked very fluent. Like, he was moving very well, the wrist work was good, so that was one thing about him. KL Rahul faced a new member of the touring party, Yash Dayal now. So Yash Dayal has been added. Not sure whether he's a part of the bowling reserves or the main squad. There's no update on that. But he was.
His father has confirmed is that he joined the team on 17th November as a backup. He got that notification call when he was in the South Africa tour. Then he joined team, and everyone came to know yesterday after his visuals were seen. Nobody informed, the BCCI did not come out with any formal thing. It just came out when his visuals came. People contacted his father. His father has confirmed as of now.
No, that I'm not surprised. BCCI didn't even inform us whether Rohit is going to be there or not.
Yeah, tell me.
I mean, it should have ideally.
It'll be done tomorrow.
No, but no, now you know because Bumrah is going to be captaining, you know that. But I'm saying this is the least you can do is that, okay, you left from here, you had an official press conference where Gautam Gambhir says that we are waiting on him, we are hopeful or whatever. So you have gone with an idea, it's a 50-50 chance that he will be there. But once it was decided, you come out with an official statement that he's not making it. Nothing on that front. Nothing. Through sources, through people only we'll have to figure out. That's again.
Or contact their fathers.
Which is why I said when there was this whole debate of why should Gautam Gambhir be sent for the press conference, I was like, Arey, be grateful that you're having a press conference and somebody is coming and giving you details. And otherwise information is tough. And I don't know why that happens. It wouldn't happen with any other country. You clearly say this one is available or Yash Dayal is added. I don't know what is the secrecy in that. Just let people know. Nothing.
Exactly.
You didn't even know how many members of the A squad will stay back. Oh, Mukesh might stay back. He's bowling well. Maybe. You only find out when you see him sitting on the flight that he's going, oh, no. He's not been added. You don't get to know. Padikkal has been added. Nobody will tell you. You will only get to know once he's coming for practice. Oh, he's been asked to stay back. Nothing.
I couldn't spot Mukesh in the practice today.
No, because he's come back.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
why
he's
I
come
said.
back, yeah.
Nobody knew. We saw him coming in the flight, so you know that he's not been asked to stay back. But there were, certain
Sai
reports
Sudarshan
that Gaikwad might stay back after his good performance in the match simulation, but he was also taking the flight.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out on your own. Nothing will be told to you officially. Anyway, that's interesting what Siddharth points out, saying that the fact that you've had Abhimanyu Ishwaran batting very low with the bowlers in the nets, kind of giving an indication that he may not be in the scheme of things. Devdutt Padikkal is saying is going to be favourite. We'll get down to the 11, but that's the latest information. What I like the most is about Virat Kohli, batting rather well to short pitch deliveries. And I've been, if you look at all the reports that have been coming, all former players that have been talking, I mean, I was listening to Irfan Pathan, Mohammad Kaif, you've heard Ricky Ponting, a few Australian players, everyone is saying that in these bouncy conditions, Virat will turn it on. In fact, Morkel said that in the press conference. That video is also up where he thinks that Virat is batting in the nets with the same intensity like he does while he's going to be playing. So he has a point to prove. So we'll see what happens on that. What is the latest with Shubman Gill? Because so many conflicting reports. He's playing, not playing. Morkel is saying that we'll wait for the day of the match, and then he's walking around with a. So what's the latest?
The biggest update is that Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant had a look at the pitch. They were the first Indians to have a look at the pitch today in the practice session.
So what does that mean? Shubman Gill is playing?
I don't think so. Although Morkel is saying that he's recovering very fast.
I'll tell you about the press conference and Shubman Gill both. Firstly about Shubman Gill, I don't think he's playing, and I think everybody knows that he's not playing. You can see that by his body language also. You can also see that with the person he's roaming around, Morne Morkel. I don't think Morne Morkel has...
What does that mean?
I'll tell you why. I'll get to that. Because as soon as if you're playing and if you are that senior player in the team, you're playing at number 3, you sort of start getting in that zone, getting closer to the game.
Yeah.
The way he was just roaming around and all of these things, players do tend to have that mindset closing onto the match, but Shubman Gill isn't that sort of a person. You would have seen him get into the zone, but that wasn't the case. He was
what is the thing?
I'm telling you, that's why when I get to the press conference, it's intelling there.
Okay.
But Shubman Gill wearing a support on his thumb clearly shows he's not going to be there, and also the fact that it has come out now that he has a fractured thumb. It's not going to be possible because you cannot recover from a fractured thumb within a couple of days. 2 weeks also is going to be really unrealistic if he gets fit for the Adelaide test. Hopefully he does better for the team, but this test so definitely he's not there in the contention. That's also a very big reason why Devdutt Padikkal is coming and batting so higher up in the nets. Coming to Morne Morkel's press conference, I think firstly I was really excited for the press conference today because I expected Ashwin to be coming because that was something that had to happen. That changed the Morne Morkel game, and I just feel that Morne Morkel is still sort of just settling into the Indian dressing room, because by what he says I just feel that he's sitting on a distance and he's just seeing things happen. He doesn't have a say in 99% of the things, and I'll tell you why. because some of his statements, just one statement that really stuck to me was that he said that they will take a call on Gill on the day of the match. By they, he refers to the team management, which he himself is also part of. So I sort of wasn't able to.
No, because as a bowling coach, I don't think he can make a call.
No, but being.
No, but it is down always in.
He gave very generic answers.
No, but I'll tell you why. Okay, I mean, what you're saying, I'm not denying that. That if you have read things like that, that's a fair point. Yeah. All I'm saying is that even if it was not Morne Morkel, it was Abhishek Nair or whatever, they can't say it. Effectively, the way your system works is, it will have to be the captain, the coach, and your now chairman of selectors is there. They will have to take a call. Ideally, it is actually just the captain and the coach. Final word still remains with the captain to take a.
I have another instance of where I thought the same. When asked about Mohammad Shami, he talked about white ball and red ball. He needs to be phased out in red ball or white ball, whichever format it is. I don't think the Indian team management in general has such a rough, vague, far-fetched plan for Mohammad Shami. I feel I think that they're very much on it. Like, it's something that they really want to do it, and they are at it. It's not going to be so vague that he might come back in red ball or white ball, we'll give him time and all these things. That's why I feel that he doesn't have a fair idea of what actually is going on. Maybe because he's sort of still getting into the groove
but
as well.
That's what I'm saying. Of course he doesn't have an idea, but he's not supposed to have an idea.
But for Mohammad Shami at least he has to.
I mean, it's you don't get to know. Just now we're talking about the captain not being there. How is he going to have any sort of an idea? You think he's in a position to be making decisions? No, he is going to be there. You've taken him to be assisting in some decision making for the bowlers, to tell them, share his experience, what they can do. That's about it. Which is why I find it very surprising that you end up sending, your bowling coach, fielding coach sometime, whatever, because really they can't. Eventually it will all boil down to, and to be fair to Morne Morkel, even the Indian team usually makes their final call on the eve of the match. Yeah. They wait till that time. So I don't think he's in the position to be telling you much as to who's going to be playing. As so far as Gill is concerned, I think the reason he said it is because he can't come and rule. He's not in a position to come and rule Gill out, or he hasn't been told. So I think he will not risk that. Secondly, because this is something that the Indian team has been doing, that they like to keep their cards close to their chest. They don't like to announce their playing 11s and so on and so forth.
We will take the call instead of they will take the call.
Because he's right. It will not be we. It will be they only. Doesn't matter if it is him. He's absolutely right. It is, at the end of the day, it have to be between the captain and the coach. They can only take a call. How many times a bowling coach or a fielding coach or a batting coach will be consulted? Not at all. You can have casual conversations. The coach might still have a conversation. Eventually, you sit down when the team meeting happens. It's the captain, coach, now maybe the chairman of selectors. They'll sit on the eve of the game, decide, and that's how it's been happening. So I don't think he's wrong on that. And also because you brief someone going for a press conference, I think you kind of tell them that we don't want Australia to know whether Gill is playing or not. Let there be suspense over him. But truth be told, all of us will confirm that there's no way that he's going to be coming out to playing, and I'm not reading body language as well as Shashwat does, but just overall with that plaster on, he just came, did not even have a net session, and it's not even worth the risk.
Yeah,
quite honestly. So Gill is out. I think that is something.
Chief selector, there are some other reports also doing the rounds this morning that the chief selector is to stay in Australia for all the 5 test matches. The reason being that they want to make a roadmap for the future, talking to senior players that what's their plan for future. In fact, even decide the core for the 2025 Champions Trophy.
No, is it really the right thing to do in the middle of a big series?
No, it's not. But
it's not.
Obviously not.
But I'm also saying you can't be 100% sure based on some reports that.
Yeah.
No, but what he's saying, if it is true, then I don't think it's the right thing to do.
If this is absolutely not,
absolutely not.
Then you are actually imagining a situation where your senior players are failing.
Correct.
You are losing, so you are, so I do not trust any of these reports, because any Indian team going there, no matter what has happened, you've lost to New Zealand, and even though Manas Labuschagne has come and said that, oh, they will be slightly under pressure having lost. But all that is, building pressure building tactics, which is fine. Opposition will do it. But I don't think any Indian team, and even though I read reports that for Gautam Gambhir, make or break series, or for senior players like Rohit, Virat, make or break series, so tough call. But you don't, at the start of the series, even think like that. Nobody is thinking in the worst case scenario. Nobody is. You play the series. If it does come down to a worst case scenario, you address the issue then. So I don't think, and it is a possibility that chairman of selector stays there, that could be fine. That could stem, the only thing that I can think of, that could stem from the fact that there was, in the review meeting, a lot spoken about some sort of disconnect between what the chairman of selector would have wanted in terms of their 11 and resting players and so on and so forth, then what the coach and the captain eventually went with, in the series versus New Zealand. There were a lot of question marks. Bumrah's rest was one of those reasons that were looked at. So it could be that now you want to make sure that the chairman of selector is there and there is no decision taken by just either one or two people. There is a coterie that sits together and those decisions are made. Maybe that's why he stays back.
And I think it's just everyone is taking advantage of the fact that India has lost, and I think this is the best time in that sense to do kite flying, because Ajit Agarkar, I think most of the time has travelled with the team. Since the time he's taken over, I've seen him mostly 90% of the times I've seen him there with the team. After a win, after a loss, he's there on the ground. So I don't think there's anything unusual about him being there for the whole
team.
The
only thing I think which might change is that he might now be playing a more active role in terms of what happens with the 11. Because see, whatever said and done, it was a big jolt, that New Zealand series. And so Indian cricket definitely wants to have checks and balances and ensure that, when big decisions are taken as to who's playing, who's captaining, who's resting, there will be another person involved. And I think that's why he's going to be very actively involved. Though you're right, he was also actively involved previously. From Asia Cup onwards, I did see that from that Sri Lanka tour where, he was involved with the Indian team, with the captain Rohit Sharma and Ajit Agarkar.
He was
quite
there
often.
for the whole World Cup as well, if I'm
yes,
not wrong.
they were in conversation for. He wasn't. I don't think he was there throughout the World Cup. I think he came and went back, but he was there at the business end for sure. Yes, he was. So. No, you're right. Actually, he was there throughout.
I think it's just, again, I think this is the best time to actually get that masala when Indian team is not doing well. So everyone is trying to do that.
Yeah, possible.
Yeah.
Possible. Okay, now that you know what's happening there in terms of the Indian team information, let me also tell you a bit about the pitch, because we heard from the curator. The preparation for the pitch have been hampered because of overcast conditions. So they desperately needed the sun to come down and bake the pitch to make it really hard on top. They want the pitch to be hard and not as soft. But because that has not happened so far, unusual conditions in Perth, this is not the season to have wet days there, but they've been having that. So I think they're going to wait on for another day, hoping that the sun comes out, even for one day, bake the pitch, then you get that hard pitch. If that is not going to happen, there's always a backup plan that the curators have, which is to stop watering completely to make it a bit drier and roll extra rolling, and then you make the pitch hard that way if the sun is not coming. So they're going to be doing that. They were also going to be leaving a bit more grass on the pitch, simply because of the experience they had last time around in the test match, where, if you remember, Pakistan got bundled out for 89 or something like that, but that was primarily because of the cracks that had developed. So because of the hard surface in Perth, towards day 3, 4, you start having these cracks and they keep becoming bigger. And then you get uneven bounce. That's where you get hit. A lot of players got hit as well. So what they're trying to do now is to ensure that those cracks don't develop. So they're leaving a bit more grass so the pitch can be bound together, kept together. So that is what they're doing. But what that also means is that there will also be a lot of seam movement if there is grass left. So it'll be a nice and juicy pitch. Just to sum it up in one line, he said there will be pace, there will be bounce. So expect a lot of that in Perth.
And Australia barely managed to win that game. In fact, they won it by just 2 wickets. So definitely there was something for the bowlers. If Pakistan fast bowlers also did extract something from it.
Yeah. So you also had that ODI match that.
That one only I'm talking about.
No, I was talking about the Test match. So the last Test match that happened.
Talk 2023. Yeah.
Correct. So there was a lot of crack and
wherein Amir Jamal took that 6-wicket haul. Yeah.
So scored 80 odd runs.
As the Test match progresses, those cracks in Perth. Perth is known for, like, even the old Waka used to get these big cracks.
It's and the then same you get, clay here also, right?
Yes, same as Waka, which is in Optus that you are using, not too far, the 2 grounds. But they're ensuring that no gap will be left in the pitch. That's the first endeavor that the pitch curator is having now. But juicy pitch nonetheless, that's what you're going to get. And no sun coming out will make things even more interesting. Why I thought we'll put that out, because when we make the playing 11, those are things that you'll have to consider looking at the conditions on offer. Okay, let's get down to business then. And right from the start, there's going to be a big debate as to who opens. So, without any debate, let's write Yashasvi Jaiswal is not injured. Neither is he, under fire for his form or anything. So, there will be no debate there. Yashasvi Jaiswal is your opener. Now,
so, what are the choices that we should give? Like, it is like what I think or what India should be doing? Let's be very clear on that front first.
One second.
Yeah.
What you think and what India should be doing should be the same thing. What is the difference is, what you think and what India should be doing is one thing, but what will India do is another thing. What will they do? See, whatever you think is obviously thinking that that's the best for the team. So for India to do that will be the best. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But India may do something else.
Yeah.
So if you have a feeling that India will do something else, you can mention it. But eventually, I want you to put forward your opinion as to what you think is best for India.
Perfect.
So
let's do it. Yeah. So my other opener, and I don't feel India are going to pick him as the opener, but he's going to be my choice.
Yeah, we want your choice.
Is going to be Washington Sundar.
As an opener?
Yeah.
Too much. That is
no, I'm not.
And see, why I'm going to go with him, it's simple, to be very honest. He offers that surprise factor for Australia. Number one, Australia are not really going to expect him to open. Secondly, the options that you have, are they really inspiring that confidence? As openers, I'm not really sure about it. There is Abhimanyu Ishwaran, who is actually batting with the bowlers when they are having their nets practice, the batting practice. And then there is KL Rahul. We all know his form hasn't really been up to the mark. That basically leaves us with Shubman Gill is also not going to be there, and so is going to be Rohit Sharma. What I personally feel is that India are going to go with KL Rahul only, and that's what the practice sessions also suggest. But then, just to have that surprise factor, something like India had in 2018 when you had Hanuma Vihari open with Mayank Agarwal, I wouldn't mind having Washington Sundar, because with Sundar, I'm not expecting 100. I'm only expecting the fact that if he can score about 50-60 odd runs of 40-45 odd balls, I think that should be enough to land that counter punch.
If the pitch is the way it is, anyone gives you 50, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
But for me, no go. I'll tell you why. First Test match, in more than surprising the opposition, you're sending Sundar there. You're telling the opposition, boss, we don't know what to do. There is no Rohit Sharma, no Shubman Gill. We are like a headless chicken running all around. I don't know what to do. So firstly, I think that message goes, which I don't think is great. Even as an Indian fan, if I look at it, that can happen if you have been hammered 2 Test matches, you have no options, or you were in the last series, players are getting injured after injured, you have no option but to make changes. I am a fan of Sundar's batting, but I'm not going to take a risk right at the start of the series, this bigger gamble, especially when I have other options to look at. And secondly, why would you then pick those if you do not have confidence in a Abhimanyu Ishwaran or even a KL Rahul because of his, and you make valid points. But if you didn't have any confidence, don't take them. No, let them be at home.
But that's not the first time that's happening with the management.
But that doesn't mean it's the right thing. Just because one wrong has been happening multiple times does not mean that let's become fine with that norm, right? Anything being repeated again and again, you have, if you are starting the show late, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, you may be doing it, but that doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to say. It's still wrong, right, to do it.
And also, I don't think that it's a surprise in that sense. I wouldn't send a surprise in the first test match of a 5-match test series. It doesn't make sense to me in that sense. And Washington Sundar just spoils everything for me. Building up towards this Border Gavaskar trophy and all of this, it doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't
he's not done this job very often. This left field selection, as I said, only on 2 occasions.
And it's not a T20
3-0 down, you've tried everything, nothing's working. Okay, now let's give it a shot. Or T20I, or you've had multiple injuries, now you're left with no option. So you say, go, Sundar, you do it for me. What do I do? Something like that. But no, not for me. So, yes.
For me, I think it's high time now that you send Abhimanyu Easwaran. It's high time he gets his cap now. I personally would have wanted Ruturaj Gaikwad because I feel like I've mentioned it many times that I think the time has passed for Abhimanyu Easwaran. He's no more the Abhimanyu Easwaran who's scoring runs for fun every now and then. He's past that age now and all of these things. But now that you've given him that opportunity, I feel some opportunities, just life gives them to you. That everyone has seen that you have done so much and all of these things. I think it's something that is deserved for him. And it's a choice between KL Rahul and Abhimanyu Easwaran. So I'm anyways going to go with Abhimanyu Easwaran. Seeing the kind of form KL Rahul in and all of these things, I know that the team will go with KL Rahul, but then you should not have picked an Abhimanyu Easwaran. Because it doesn't make any sense. You already had 2 opening options, and if you had to go with a Shubman Gill or KL Rahul as a backup opener, then you should not have picked Abhimanyu Easwaran. You could have kept another batting option, which you now don't have when you go into the middle order, deeper into the middle order. So now I think it's high time for Abhimanyu Easwaran to open. KL Rahul won't make any sense because everyone is, I think he's a walking wicket at this time, and the Australian team knows that too. He himself knows that. He knows that. I think they're just taking a chance. They're just backing him for the sake of backing him. Just seeing the past record, the centuries he scored overseas. It's been 2 to 3 years that happened. I know class player, everything I understand, but I think Abhimanyu Easwaran, if you have picked him, then play him. Otherwise, his selection doesn't make any sense.
See, I know why they're not going with Abhimanyu Easwaran, because he had 4 outings. Just to report what is happening, we saw those 2 games that he played for India A, just could not make an impression. That's a fact, right? Secondly, what I'm getting to hear, because the Indian team is going to be looking at the match simulation and other things that you do, the Indian team also felt that he's not really, being able to, he's a domestic giant, scored a lot of runs, but he's not been able to get used to the pace and bounce at the moment in Australia. That's their thinking at the moment. Now, what would I do? If I was to pick a team, I would also go with Abhimanyu Easwaran, simply because if I have picked him for a tour for so long, I can agree. Okay, if Rohit Sharma was there, he doesn't play, he sits out, absolutely fine. If there is a situation where, assuming that only Rohit was not there, you needed to fill one spot and there was a fight between KL Rahul and Abhimanyu Easwaran, and you went with KL Rahul, I would not even say that is wrong, because at the moment it's a tough choice. It's between the devil and the deep blue sea, whether I choose Easwaran or KL Rahul. Nobody is really giving me confidence. Let's be honest. But the fact is now that your number 3 is also out in Shubman Gill, your other opener in Rohit Sharma is not here. Now when all of that is the scenario, then I have no option but to have the devil and the deep blue sea both in my 11.
So you're going to have KL Rahul at some point in this batting line?
I am going to have him at number 3. I cannot now reach a situation where I know that, and you will also get your chance to come up with your number 3, where people are saying that Devdutt Padikkal will open, and that may be the case, based on what you're seeing of how the team is preparing, who's batting at what order, the kind of belief that the team is having on each player. I know that a possibility is KL Rahul opens. This is what the Indian team will do with Yashasvi, and Padikkal bats at 3. This seems to be the most likely scenario. But we are picking our 11 based on what I think is fair, and so which is why Siddharth Gulati has absolutely the right to pick the opener that he wants. He went with Sundar. We may not agree, but that's his choice. Absolutely right. Shashwat has gone with Easwaran. He has his reasons, which he is entitled to. But I think that if there was only one slot open for an opener and number 3, then if you went with KL instead of Easwaran, or you went with Easwaran KL, I would be okay. Because as I said, Neither of them is going to give me any confidence. It's just like a toss of coin for me, go with anyone. But now both slots are open. I'll have to play both because I am not now, because Devdutt Padikkal was not even in your squad.
Correct.
So Easwaran and Rahul, despite their poor form, you still picked them, right? You knew of their form even, or their performance before that only. You knew of that. So you've got them. Now they are ahead of a Devdutt Padikkal. I agree that Devdutt Padikkal also a bit unfair. He gets you runs batting at number 4 in Dharamsala. After that gets picked for New Zealand, sits outside and then doesn't get a chance to play and is out of the squad. Bahar se hi bahar. I agree. But suddenly you've got, okay, let's look at Devdutt Padikkal as well. He also had, multiple options. He looked good in that first practice game where he got runs, but the second practice game, even he got found wanting. There have been reports that even in the match simulation, sometime he was, struggling against pace and bounce. You may like, I was reading in the practice session, lots of, fast, all the, pacers bowling to him. He was edging them continuously. Lots of edges. So I don't think he is also that confident at the moment, or I'm getting any more confidence with a Devdutt Padikkal also suddenly at number 3. But so for me, you may like it. If Easwaran does not make use of the opportunity in a test match or 2, he goes. But you will have to start with Easwaran and KL will come at 3.
I still don't understand what was the reason to pick Abhimanyu Easwaran then, because it's not the first time that he's gone for overseas conditions. Last time England again made it to the squad, somebody else from behind him came and opened. There also I remember these were the same reasons that it doesn't look good in English conditions. The same reason here. When everything is so obvious and okay, then I understand he was sort of in his peak of his form, he was scoring too many runs. At this point, it's not the case. He wasn't scoring runs anyways. That's why even before the team was picked, I wanted Ruturaj Gaikwad. But because you picked Easwaran, I think that was a signal that you want to back experience more. Then now suddenly, why I don't understand the same reason again.
No.
They don't pick him.
Maybe he gets picked because you at one point say that we want to honor domestic performers, right? So you pick him in the squad so that nobody really raises a question that here's a guy who keeps and he doesn't get a chance.
But that's what I'm saying. This time he wasn't scoring runs. Last time he did not play much domestic cricket because he was with the India A team. So he's been with the India team and hasn't been scoring runs that frequently the way he was earlier. That's why I'm saying I wanted Ruturaj ahead of him this time, and I'm a very big fan of players who do well in domestic. But Ruturaj, because he was scoring runs, the simple reason the team picked Easwaran, and I think the only reason for that was that they wanted some experience. If Rohit, I think when we talked about this also, Rohit not being there for the first test match, there was a very big possibility even before the team was picked. The way I looked at things at that point was that the reason you have gone with Abhimanyu Easwaran ahead of Ruturaj is just experience. Because KL Rahul at that point, everyone was switching their numbers just to protect KL Rahul and all of these things. So the only reason...
That's your conjecture.
No, even Rohit said that KL Rahul, Virat had to step up because we did not want to...
No, but they were not protecting.
Protecting as in, I'm trying to say that they did not want to disturb KL Rahul.
But right now the team is saying that that's his quality, that he is a player who can bat at any position. That is his USP.
And I think more than respecting somebody who's doing well in the domestic circuit, keeping Abhimanyu Easwaran every time and then playing somebody else, calling people out of desperation from other squads, not keeping them, I think it's just more disrespectful for him.
Okay. Let's pick our 11. So what is the common consensus we've got? Because he's gone with as your opener as Washington. We both gone with Easwaran. So I think Easwaran gets that. Number 3, I've already mentioned KL Rahul. Why I know that he's not in great form, but as I said, these two are going to be your players. Now that both your number 3 and opener are not there, so he'll have to come in. Why I'm putting him at number 3? Because the team themselves going from here said he can bat at any position. So there is also that option of pushing Virat Kohli at number 3, but I think that experiment did not really work well in New Zealand, and Virat is your number 1 batter. So let him bat at that position. Give him the best possible opportunity to succeed, right? It's only going to do well for your team. So with that in mind, again, not that I'm superly excited to see Easwaran at 2 and KL Rahul at 3, but I'm afraid that's the only option I have, and so I'm taking it. I'm going KL Rahul at number 3.
I'm going Devdutt Padikkal at number 3, even though he's not in the side. I think just his game is too suitable for the Australian conditions. A very big
What's
reason.
suitable
And-
at MCG? He looked like
No. He
cat
did.
on a hot tin
Yeah,
roof.
but
Yeah.
I just feel that because I feel he's tall, so he's not somebody who sort of bends a lot. He's somebody who plays on the up. So I think the bounce will be really suitable. One thing I very, very clearly remember in the Dharamshala test that he played, one dismissal was he was trying to play on the up or over covers. I don't remember was it mid off or covers where he was caught, but he was playing too far away from the body. I think that is something quite similar to Yashasvi Jaiswal in that sense. Somebody who plays on the up, and I think very suitable for Perth conditions more than KL Rahul. I'm just comparing everyone with KL Rahul and putting everyone ahead of him.
Okay.
No, my only point to that is, if Devdutt Padikkal only had to play ahead of KL Rahul,
then he should have opened.
Why did you take KL Rahul and select him in the squad?
Middle
you
order.
should have selected. By KL Rahul was batting middle order in New Zealand also, no?
Yeah.
So you should have put Padikkal to begin with.
No, but at that point KL Rahul was playing. Now he wasn't dropped till then.
My point is exactly that. New Zealand series is over. No?
Yeah.
You picked a fresh squad, no?
No. It was picked during the New Zealand
Yes.
series. Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to say. If you picked it, you could have gone with Devdutt Padikkal only. You dropped a Devdutt Padikkal and you went with a KL Rahul. Wherever it is picked.
First two things came. Now Gill got injured, and plus.
I know that, but Gill got injured and that happened, so it opens up another squad that you get a backup in. If Devdutt Padikkal was ahead of KL Rahul, he should have anyway in the squad. Then it should have been KL Rahul who then now fills in because Gill has got injured, and you would have said stay back. Your thought process should have been clear from then, but it was not. So you've gone with it. And anyway, I mean, again, nothing against Devdutt Padikkal. I really haven't seen anything to really get excited about. As I said, I was just reading reports where he was a walking wicket in the nets against Indian fast bowlers, nicking continuously. Lack of experience once again. What KL brings is a bit of experience, having played in Australia. I know not
about
great
Devdutt
numbers.
Padikkal, we have only read now. KL Rahul we have seen with our own eyes also. He's a walking wicket.
No, I did see Devdutt Padikkal in the MCG thing. I just saw a practice match.
The
With
unofficial
the eyes
test.
only I saw. He was also walking wicket. Same eyes.
But KL Rahul is more of a walking wicket.
Anyway, as I said, it's not a great. I may sound like a stuck record. I go back to that whole thing. You should have had Rohit Sharma in the first test match. Gill is an injury, so you can't avoid it. But now, whatever team you make, whichever khichdi you make from wherever, upar niche, it's not an ideal situation to be in. So that's a fact. Anyway, so there's one vote for Devdutt Padikkal, one for KL Rahul. So
And-
Gulati will have a casting vote.
I think for once I'm going to go with Shashwat.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Devdutt Padikkal. And
this
see,
is so rare.
yeah, it is very rare. I understand, where Nikhil is coming from or where his points are coming from, and I understand your point also. Whatever visuals I have seen of, Devdutt Padikkal, that was obviously, sent to us. I think he looked encouraging to me, and he may have looked at C in that second unofficial test at the MCG, but then he did well in the opening test also. Secondly, there is something to suggest about Devdutt Padikkal that he is inspiring that confidence, and it's not just the domestic record also. I think let's go back to the Dharamshala test wherein he showed that composure. Now, if we have to just talk about the composure or the temperament, it hasn't really been seen in KL Rahul in the last 5 to 6 test matches or so. Just on that perspective, just on that, I think maybe just from that angle, I'm going to go with Devdutt Padikkal ahead of both, Ishwaran and KL Rahul for that matter. Just from that perspective.
We have had this fight. You have finally understood what I've tried to say.
See, ideally, I would
You're
have also
trying to say
wanted.
that he didn't understand.
No,
He's
no.
finally learning from you and now on the same
No,
page.
that's what. No, I'm just
That's
happy
what it
that
sounded like.
No,
See,
no.
I'll
to
just-
me that I always had the right vision. I always
No,
knew
about
you could not see
just
things, but
about
finally
KL
you
Rahul.
are now.
No, I do. Nobody can still see what KL Rahul
No, see,
is doing.
my point is Padikkal, Rahul and Ishwaran. I'll just, sum up it in one line.
True.
If I have to just pick one who inspires the most confidence currently, I
And if
think
I have
it has to
drop
be
just one,
Padikkal.
you know who it is.
Okay, so just to let you know that
Okay.
this is what is a top order that has again, not all of us agree, but a common consensus. So it's a democratic setup. So that's why. But most likely, I repeat, most likely it's going to be Yashasvi, KL Rahul, and Padikkal is what it seems like at the moment. What the Indian team might be picking. Anyway, we are trying to pick what we think is the best. Number 4, let's not even spend time over there. It's Virat Kohli. Number 5, let's not even spend time over there. There is Rishabh Pant. So we're done with these 2 positions. Now it gets really interesting.
10 also we can write Bumrah so that we can
No, we'll get to one by one. What is the hurry? What is the hurry?
WK, yeah.
Okay.
Please, no injury to Bumrah, please.
Okay, so 4-5 is done. You guys can also have a look on your screens, which is, pretty easy to understand. 6, 7, 8, and this is going to be some juicy slots that we're going to be discussing. Let's get to number 6. So, who wants to let Gulati start? Okay.
I am picking Dhruv Jurel ahead of anyone and everyone. It's as simple as that. For me, I think Dhruv Jurel starts for 2 reasons. One, I think he did well. He did well in that M-Series test, 80 and 68 on those tough in those tough conditions. And secondly, from the visuals of the practice also, he looked the most compact among the set of batters at that time who were batting. There was Devdutt Padikkal, there was Nitish Reddy, and then there was Dhruv Jurel. He was batting very well, even handling the bouncers very well also. The good thing about his batting was that, and something that I had always wanted to see in a KL Rahul, his bat was very much close to his body.
Yeah, he's very compact.
So for me, Dhruv Jurel starts. He's inspiring that confidence. Why not utilize him?
And who's your number 7? Because they may be
that's is it 7 plus 4 or is it 6
no,
plus 1 plus
we'll go 1 by 1. You
Okay.
tell your 6 and 7.
Okay.
So Jurel is 6, 7.
6 Dhruv Jurel, 7 Ravindra Jadeja.
Okay, your spinners start from
Yeah.
Jadeja.
7 is like obvious.
Okay.
For me, I'm going with 7 plus 4. So I'm not going with any
Okay.
all-rounder.
Who's your 6?
My 6 is Jurel and 7 is Sarfaraz.
Reasons?
Reasons, Jurel, I think, looking the most comfortable, the most compact. I think he's just batting like a dream at this point. No chance I'm going to leave him. It was really tough for me to sort of, make way for the both of them, Sarfaraz and Jurel, because Sarfaraz, I feel, not the right time to drop him. It's just that he's just made it sort of started to get into the Indian team. He's just scored 150 just to drop him right now. So it was basically picking 2 between Nitish Kumar Reddy, Sarfaraz Khan and Dhruv Jurel. Just to get in few overs from Nitish Kumar Reddy, who doesn't even inspire that much confidence in that sense, and I'm not too sure about his batting or bowling. I know he would be a good utilization in Perth because he's more like not Shardul Thakur but a little slow. He can get that seam off the wicket, but just to get those few overs, I would not want to drop a Sarfaraz because that would dent him, because I might need him going ahead in the series as well. So I wouldn't want to do that with the Sarfaraz, and I feel 4 bowlers would be sufficient enough in Perth. So I'll go with 2 batters, Sarfaraz and Jurel.
Okay.
Because he's spoken about Nitish Reddy, that's what I want to talk, because we're also talking about what the team can actually pick, and there's a lot of talk about Nitish Reddy. Morkel has come and said that he's going to be very important for us in this particular series. He's been batting, and since if you look at indication that Gulati is referring to, he's been batting with the top order in the nets as well. So if you're looking at that, you're looking at what the team is saying, the balance. Let me also give you an example that Shardul Thakur was played in that particular role. So, are you trying to fit in a fast bowling all-rounder? There are indications to suggest that might be the case. Shashwat has given his point why he is not going with Nitish Reddy. Let's hear Siddharth on that. Nitish Reddy?
At 8?
No. Are you going with him? Not going with him? Why?
I'm going to go with Nitish Reddy at 8.
You are getting him.
Yeah, I am getting him. Yeah. See, first of all, you have to understand.
But if he comes in, because you had a Jadeja, then it'll be Jadeja 8 and Nitish Reddy at 7.
That's fine. I'm fine either ways actually. Like even Nitish Reddy can bat at 8 also, or even Jadeja is fine with me. I think that is something that
and why are you going with a Nitish Reddy?
Okay. First of all, I'm fine with either at 7 or 8 because it's going to be a left or right hand combination if you want to maintain that. So depending upon which wicket falls, you can have the other one. I think with Nitish Reddy, you have to understand one thing, that your batting is your weakest link in the Border Gavaskar trophy. So if you're going to go with 7 batters, that's perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. But then your batting isn't really inspiring that confidence after the multiple collapses that you have had. And you have been found wanting in the green lush conditions also, the seaming conditions. Now with Nitish Reddy, I do have the luxury of an extra bowler. He is someone, I think Morne Morkel said that he's a seam up bowler, can bowl wicket to wicket, get those useful wickets also, done a bit for his state side in the Ranji Trophy too. So for me, he adds that extra flavor, an X factor for that matter. How is he going to perform? Well, that obviously remains to be seen, but then have a batting or a bowling all-rounder at number 8. I think it lengthens your batting and obviously it provides you an extra bowling option.
Okay, so now we're talking only 6 and 7. For Siddharth, it is Jurel and Nitish Reddy. For Shashwat, it is Jurel and Sarfraz at the moment. I think, have the casting vote now. Firstly, on Nitish Reddy, I would not play him because why I would not is because it's Test cricket. I want a player to win me either with the bat or the ball. At the moment, is Nitish Reddy the batter who can play a match-winning knock for me? I don't think so. Is he a bowler who can bowl a match-winning spell for me? I don't think so. The comparison of Shardul Thakur, I don't think is fair because Shardul Thakur was a bowling all-rounder. So I would still have him in the team because of his bowling abilities. He'll pick me wickets and he can change the game. So I'm playing him because of that. That he helps me with a bit of my batting is another added advantage. But right now with Nitish Reddy, that's not the case. He's not going to win me matches with the ball. So there's no use. And if I have to really take him as a batter, then I have a better option between a Jurel and a Sarfraz. I'd rather have more established batter than a Nitish Reddy, who's done well in white ball cricket, but I need to see a bit more of him in red ball. Not at the moment. So just as Washington Sundar, I'm not going to experiment too many things to begin with. I'm not going to go in with that. So for me, by the way, Jurel I'd said right from the start, I don't know how you fit him in. He needs to fit in the 11. And my other batter is, I'm also going to have batting till 7. And my other batter is going to be Sarfraz. Because I think it's unfair for Sarfraz not to get a first go in Australia. So how can it be that, okay, here's a guy who got 150 in that series. And of course he failed after that. But so did the rest of your batting. But now how can you make up your mind that he's not suited for Australian conditions? If he's not suited, he plays a test match or 2. And if he's not doing good, just like you moved on from other players, you move on from him as well. Yeah. But you cannot have this thing that I've got him from domestic cricket, but then he's only specific to Indian conditions. So when I'm playing in India, he will play. When I'm playing, you can't do that. Sorry. So if he's your batter who's come through domestic cricket and he has to be in your batting lineup, he needs to fit in. The only change I will make is I'll have Sarfraz at 6 because he was batting, in my top order to begin with, and Jurel at 7 because he's now entering the Indian team and he'll have to bat a step lower. So for 6, I would like Sarfraz and 7 Jurel in terms of your batting order. If Pawan is listening, then he will do that. That way, I'm going with my established batter there. So this is my batting order. I'm not panicking. I'm not telling the world that I'm panicking. This was my batting order. I've only made changes at the top because Rohit is not available and Gill is injured. So that's why I've made those 2 changes. This was my remaining batting order. Jurel I've gotten in because I need an extra batter in Perth. Why I will go with 4 bowlers? Because this is going to be a bowling friendly test match. And 4 bowlers should do the trick for me. I do not need the 5th bowler to do the trick. Where I will be found wanting is in my batting. I'm not going in with too much confidence. So maybe one of the batters steps up. I agree, Jurel has looked good. He looked good in the test matches that he played. He's looked fantastic in those warm-up games, the India A game. Yeah. He's also looked good in the match simulation. He's looked good in net session, looking like the most assured player on the back foot. So you don't want to miss out on an informed batter. So that's my 7. And I'm going to go in with 4 bowlers. That means Nitish Reddy misses out.
This is going to be the most memorable dugout for me. First time I've not been outvoted even once till now.
Even I agreed with something
because for the first time he's made sensible decisions. He's not been outvoted. Okay, so Sarfraz and Jurel. Jokes aside, let's get down to the Indian team. Now also it gets exciting. Yeah. Remember, there have been moments where I have been voted out. There have been because in this team, it's a combination of. It's not a perfect team that either one of us would have made. So we've had to miss out on certain players that we would wanted, and for Gulati also has happened. Actually, till now, Shashwat has got all his ways. Whatever he wanted, he's got. But let's see if this carries
exactly
on.
what I thought about when I was coming here.
Yeah, I had, other than Padikkal, Rahul, I would have got my way, but I got
Rahul,
outvoted.
so I had to keep up.
Anyway, let's get to number 8 and then, okay, this time I'll start first because you guys have started.
Mine was, I think it was clear. I said, I already said.
Yeah, but no, you'll get your chance. Don't worry. You can still tell us what you had in mind for number 8. I am going to only play one spinner. And for me, that spinner has to be Ravichandran Ashwin, the guy who has been a tormentor for Australia, the guy who had Steve Smith eating out of his hand, the wily old fox, the guy from whom Nathan Lyon is saying that he wants to learn, his brains. I'm sure, even though he's been busy on YouTube doing IPL auction, but I know his mind would be ticking about the series. He would have been watching a lot of videos and planning. He has to play, and this is a ground where Nathan Lyon's done rather well. I know very different off spinners both of them are, but I'm sure with lots of left-handers that Australia have in their top order, Ravichandran Ashwin has to be the lone spinner. And again, I know that Jadeja used to get the go-ahead because you wanted to look after your batting. But now that you've gone with 7 out-and-out batter, Ashwin at 8, who can also bat a bit, I think my combination is done. So Ashwin is the one that I've gone with. Yes, Gulati now. Next.
I went with Nitish Reddy.
Nitish Reddy, you said Jadeja, na? Spinner.
No, I said just Jadeja 7 and Nitish Reddy 8. That's what I said. Like, you can swap both of them also.
So Jadeja is confused. Your spinner is at 8.
Yeah.
So who's your spinner?
Ravindra Jadeja.
Why? Tell them.
So, I think the only reason why I'm picking him is because of his batting ability. See, Ashwin's batting is not really inspiring that confidence, despite the 100 that he.
Yeah, we've gone with 7 batters. That's the whole point.
That's the reason, no?
But your batting any which ways is not showing any confidence, so that's why.
You can even play 11 batters; it will still won. But the whole
I
point
know,
of
I know.
going with 7 batters is
the only reason
to play best bowlers.
The only reason why I'm doing that is because Jadeja's batting gives me that confidence. Ashwin's batting is not giving me that confidence.
But if my 7 batters aren't giving me runs, I'm not expecting it from the 8th one. I'm expecting wickets from the 8th one.
I get
because
it.
I have just four bowlers. I'm going a bowler short anyways. So I'm just looking at who's the better bowler. Perth, I need a tall bowler who can extract some bounce if there's no turn firstly, can utilize the cracks, is a thinking bowler. Jadeja, I feel is just very one-dimensional, and that works in Test cricket, and that's why he's got that success. That's absolutely fine. But seeing the conditions, and somebody for Pujara, all the Australian players have said it again and again. We're happy he's not here. He's happy. We're happy. No, he's not here. I think Ashwin has the same effect on most of the batters in Australia.
Yeah.
So I would definitely start with an R Ashwin. Height, bounce, he can extract. I think he can vary. He can use the crease. He can use his pace and all of these things. And I need a wicket taker. And I think Ashwin any day, if I have to pick a wicket taker purely on the basis of bowling, it is Ashwin. Batting, I know Jadeja definitely a better batter, but not as good as. Sorry, Ashwin not as good as a batter. But I have Jurel, Sarfaraz. I'm not playing a Nitish Reddy. So I need 4 quality bowlers who pick me 20 wickets in the test.
Okay. Any which ways, what I had thought is that your spinners aren't really going to bowl that much on this pitch. That is why I initially wanted to have a Nitish Kumar Reddy, because had you, let's say, you play Nitish Reddy, then you would have a total of 4 pacers, like your 3 genuine seamers, then you have Nitish Kumar Reddy, and then at number 7 I initially wanted to have 1 spinner in Jadeja initially. So that was my thinking, but then I completely agree with the fact that Ashwin has gotten the better of both Manas and Smith on previous occasions. In fact, Ashwin has gotten the better of Smith 5 times in the previous 2 tours. So I get that, but just to lengthen my batting, because I am worried about my batting. I'm thinking from that perspective. I would want Jadeja.
Okay, but you got outvoted.
Yeah.
So it is Ashwin at number 8. 9, 10, 11. So let's just be done with number 10, Jasprit Bumrah.
Yeah.
Okay, he's your captain. There's going to be no debate there. And you're going to have now a fast bowler on either side of a Jasprit Bumrah, unless someone has thought of having 2 spinners and 2 fast bowlers. I'm guessing none of us would be doing this. You are playing in Perth after all. So 3 fast bowlers you definitely
give me Kumble and Harbhajan, I'll play 2 seamers.
No, but even then you may have to play three seamers and the two of them.
Yeah.
That will still be a possibility. India in 2018 did not play a spinner.
Yeah.
Hanuma Vihari was doing the job. I don't think they'll make that mistake. It's a possibility, by the way. Instead of that spinner we were debating at 8, India could still go in with 4 fast bowlers and not play a spinner at all.
Possible.
That is
Reddy being the 4th.
No, you could even go in an out and out. If you got
But
7
tail's
batters.
too long, then.
But you got 7 batters.
But still, till 10-20 runs, you still.
I know. But again, Nitish Kumar Reddy, is he going to be that fast bowler who will pick me wickets? I don't think so. So I rather than, if I'm going that way, I'll still get 4 fast bowlers.
Nitish Reddy definitely gets variety into the bowling attack, but
no, if I have a choice, let's say, I don't know, your 4th fast bowler is Harshit Rana or Nitish Reddy. I'm going on Harshit Rana. No, better chance of giving me wickets.
Yeah.
So no, I would not. But anyway, let's get down to number 9 and 11. So who are your 2 fast bowlers? Shashwat, start.
Akashdeep for sure. I think every one of you will be having Akashdeep in.
By the way, going by, as we said, what we are picking and what the Indian team might pick, reports suggest that Akashdeep may not be that guy.
And Harshit Rana would be.
Yeah, so I don't know. Again, it's our team. It's what we think is the best option. So you pick your 2 fast.
I would go with Akashdeep Singh at this point. The reason being that I've seen he's that seam up bowler. He will be really, really nippy on this wicket. And I think height and all, I think he's somebody who would gotten used to the conditions. The reason being that he has gotten that confidence from the team. He has picked wickets on a consistent basis, and he's somebody who's sort of just warming up in the Indian team. He's still gaining that confidence. He's still yet to hit his peak in that sense. Just to begin with, he's not at his best. I think that he will get to eventually. Also seeing the options that I have, Harshit Rana and Prasidh Krishna. Prasidh Krishna not in Perth, maybe in Adelaide. I would want to think about Prasidh Krishna because of the ping ball. Definitely not in
No,
Perth.
but why? Prasidh is more hit the deck bowler.
Correct. I would want to think about him in
It'll
Perth.
move.
I don't know. He doesn't give me those hit the deck vibes because I'm not.
But he is a hit the deck
He is
bowler.
but I don't.
So in fact, Adelaide would not be an ideal scenario for him.
Correct.
Anyway, so Akashdeep
And second being Siraj. Siraj I would definitely want to start with. Australia is where he started. I just like the fact the way he bowls, he just wears his heart on the sleeve, and Perth is a place where that will definitely be very, very useful. He's really nippy. I know he's been having a very, very bad time since a very long time now, but I think he deserves a couple of more opportunities before you sort of pick somebody else ahead of him.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with at number 9 Akashdeep, and 11 I'm a little conflicted between 2 options, but I think I've decided mine. I'm going to go with Prasidh Krishna.
Prasidh Krishna.
Yeah, Akashdeep and Prasidh Krishna. See, for one of the reasons why I'm going to go with Akashdeep is, see, you gave very right reasons about as to why you would want to include him, and pretty much my reasons are also same, that he is hitting that good form. He did well in the couple of test matches that he played against England, even in the Chennai and the Kanpur test versus Bangladesh also. I think he could very well be one of the leading wicket takers in the BGT, to be very honest. The way he's going, little skiddy, also can extract that extra bounce too. So for me, Akashdeep plays. At number 11, I'm going to pick Prasidh Krishna ahead of Mohammad Siraj. I think, with Mohammad Siraj, the point is he has done well in Australia previously, has a 5-wicket haul also, but that was at Gabba. Secondly, but his form is not there. I think even in that final test against New Zealand, after he was dropped for the second test, he didn't really show any signs of form. Even I think in the match simulation also, there were reports that he wasn't really bowling at his very best. He wasn't really consistent with the line and length. So just to have maybe someone who is in rhythm, who has already played a couple of unofficial test matches against Australia and even picked a few wickets, I'm going to go with Prasidh Krishna.
But you know what, with Mohammad Siraj, I feel a very big reason for him not doing well in other conditions is the line and length he bowls at. It takes him time to sort of pick the right line and length. He's a little short of the length, or at times he's a little too full. I think the short of length that he naturally bowls, he's a little too short. I think that would be very useful in Perth, and that's why I picked Siraj.
Okay.
My 2 fast bowlers are, despite the suggestions that Akashdeep might not start, he will start for me because he's had an outstanding test career so far, hasn't put a foot wrong. And how can you drop him? Sometime I think this is a bit overrated, oh, he's not suited for Australian conditions, this and that. If that's the case, I'd want to see that he's not. So get him to play. He's done well. He's Mohammad Shami part 2 for me. And if Shami can be, I think Akashdeep has that potential to do that. And secondly, we always talk about pace and bounce. You're talking about a Harshit Rana and a Prasidh Krishna, but I think that there will be a lot of seam movement here as well. If the reports of the amount of grass that they will be left is there, and they're leaving that not really to scare or make it really fast, but they want the pitch to be, they bind the pitch so that there are no cracks going forward. So if there is every time there is seam movement, there is help for spinners as well, because the ball grips. So if spinners have done well in Perth, and so has Nathan Lyon, that means this will be a pitch that will allow seam movement, and that's where an Akashdeep will do a much better job than a Prasidh Krishna, or for that matter even a Harshit Rana. I know high praise for a Harshit Rana right now, that it looks like he's born to play in Australia and all that. I've read may be the case as he goes along. But again, just as with my batting, I don't want to panic right from the start and make wholesale changes. Going with my best bowler, Akashdeep has been doing the job. Akashdeep, and despite Siraj's not great form, I will still go with a Mohammad Siraj because he's done well in Australia, and I think these are conditions that are going to suit him. The only thing that Siraj would be upset about is that his name is at number 11. Same man who was doing the night watchman duty, you pushed him to number 11 in our team. But
Mohammad Richards.
That is something that is interchangeable. You can put Akashdeep at 11 and Bumrah at 9 and Siraj at 10, or whatever you want to do, you could do it. But this would be the ideal 11 that I think.
You can't ask for anything else. I think perfect team.
Shashwat's a lucky guy. He's got every player that he wanted to fit in, has been fitted in.
I even have it on my phone,
No, I don't want to see it on your phone. I believe you. So he's got everything, because that's how the voting went by. I've had to make one compromise, and I think Gulati's had to make 2 or 3
multiple
three compromises. But that's what happens in a democratic setup. So this is the 11 that we think would be the best for the Indian team. But you want to guess as to what would be the team that India will play?
Yashasvi, KL, Padikkal, Virat, Pant, Jurel, and then you'll have Nitish, Ashwin, Akashdeep, Bumrah and Harshit Rana.
This will be the team that India will go. How we think so differently from the team management?
Only one change for me. KL Rahul in place of Ishwaran. That's it.
The rest you think will be the same?
Yeah.
No, Sarfaraz I don't think is starting.
Sarfaraz?
I don't think he's starting.
Just because Morne Morkel has spoken that Nitish Reddy is a fine talent, it depends upon how Bumrah uses him.
Also not getting a chance to bat alongside.
See, in the one of the things,
Nitish Reddy, I think a very big reason is that
one of the things that I missed, in that practice visuals also, that Sarfaraz Khan, he batted out. I think he came on to bat very late.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Which is why I'm saying, looks like they may not play him. We would want him.
But still, I think only one change for me. KL ahead of Ishwaran. That's it.
That's what India will do.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Maybe Sarfaraz might miss out too. I would not want him to.
Even in place of Sarfaraz, you'll have Nitish. And in place of Siraj, you'll have Harshit Rana. And in place of Ishwaran, you'll have KL Rahul.
That's what India might. Okay, we'll see what they do. Let's quickly take a few questions before we wind up our episode.
Who knows? India might announce their 12 tomorrow. They've done it previously when they have toured Australia. They've done it.
That was just few test matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 they've announced.
They might do it.
That'd be nice. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. India time, tune in to Sports Today. There will be the Indian captain's press conference. So, we'll have all the latest updates if they are to announce their 12 or 11. That won't happen, but just we'll let you know if that all the latest updates will come your way. Okay, Shubham Garg wants to know from you, Shashwat, what would you prefer? Dropped, rested, suspended, banned as your introduction? Just kidding. Former test cricketer or dropped or rested? Dropped.
Dropped is better.
Dropped.
Yeah, then former.
Okay. Madhav says, last 2021 BGT, Jadeja also troubled and took wickets of both Manas and Smith. But what people only remember is that Ashwin got Manas and Smith. That's really sad, Madhav feels. Why are you doing this? Why this Kola very day? Tell.
No, Jadeja also very good. Very good
But
bowler.
why are you only highlighting?
Ashwin.
It's a funny thing, Madhav. I'll tell you what. A lot of times when we've been critical of Ashwin, we've got so much abuse that you guys hate him, this, that, whatever. Now you praise him, now you get the other way, which tells me only one thing, that we're very fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been critical of Ashwin. I've always liked him a lot.
Batting at number 3 in IPL.
Not some moments I don't like him that much.
And pulling Henrik Nokia.
Oh, that today I actually.
No, it is a
did not
tough
like.
call, Madhav. I think between the two spinners, between Ravindra Jadeja and Ravichandran Ashwin, I think it's a close call. But at the end of the day, it's who you believe in might do better for you. I also spoke about the left-handers that they have in their top order, so maybe.
You don't know, both might not be picked. And you pick Washington Sundar.
No, I don't
who
think that's
knows?
going to happen.
Who knows?
It's possible.
Who knows?
It's really tough.
Who knows? Again, batting trouble, you're trouble, you want to lengthen your batting. Who
Then
knows?
if you're playing Sundar, that means you're playing all three all-rounders. Jadeja, Nitish Reddy.
It's not a white ball
Sundar.
match, it's a test match.
Even the left-right combination should not be used with that logic.
Okay.
You send a left, right.
Yeah, it should not, ideally. Kshitij Bhambri says, India have won the Women's Asian Champions Trophy. I'm going to be doing a video. They reached the final, beating Japan in the semi-final. That video will be up shortly on Sports Today. Madhav says, from 2018 in Australia with ball, Ashwin has 27 average, 77 strike rate, 18 wickets in 8 innings. Jadeja has 21 average, strike rate of 15 wickets in 6 innings. How on earth is to say that Ashwin is going to be a better bowler than Jadeja in Australia? How have you said that?
I only wanted Jadeja.
And I'm just going by Perth.
See,
You can
Australia
line up
pretty
success.
much have the equal number of left-hand, right-handed batters in their top 7. So, obviously, I think it's going to be only one pick for India. I don't see India going with a combination of 2 spinners, spinning all-rounders and 3 seamers.
Yeah.
I think it's just about seeing that who can get the better of your best batters at a time wherein you need it the most. From that perspective, you might want to pick R. Ashwin ahead of Ravindra Jadeja because he has gotten the better of both Ashwin and Manas on previous occasions.
And I think this would be the only test match where you will play him. After that.
Why not?
Ashwin?
Adelaide to ping.
Ashwin, you are more than likely going to play him at MCG and SCG, both.
MCG, so you might play him.
By the way, MCG is also changed, right? It's now
Yeah.
spicy MCG.
Drop-in pitch.
Yeah, but it's not like that, very docile drop-in pitches that you would get at the MCG. They've changed the nature of those pitches also. Sharan says, hi Nikhil bhai, tribute to you. The first time I saw your show was 2002-3 BGT in Australia. From that time, always followed. Arey, thank you, Sharan. Yeah, you're also an old timer. Yeah, yeah. My first professional work was 2002-3 BGT. I remember that. It's been a long time. I've been working.
You travelled for that?
No, I didn't travel. I did travel to Australia in 2003. Around the, but that was for something else, not the BGT. So that was my first trip to Australia in 2003, but I covered it
from the office.
This organization only.
Okay.
Oh.
21 years ago. Wow.
Okay.
How time has flown by.
Shubham Garg has a comment. You need 4 pacers if you are bowling after 10 overs. Okay, you're bowling first. After 10 overs, you need 2 pacers to continue. Otherwise, you would have to bring a spinner after 10 overs.
No, but I know, but you can. I think you can mix and match. You can mix and match. You do one does a shorter spell, one a slight longer, then he comes. You rotate. It's been done before. I agree with you, Shubham, that India possibly could go with 4. Nitish becomes that 4 to give you those 10 odd overs, and that is something. But again, it's just a different perspective that how we're picking that team.
I think that's exactly what the team is also going to do.
Yeah.
The way they're backing Nitish and all of these things, I think he's going to definitely start.
Probably.
But I think too raw right now.
Very, very raw.
To just go. If you've got some genuine fast bowlers, then go. I would rather go with 4 fast bowlers. Go with it.
Yeah.
Then drop the spinner.
Yeah, just go with out and out.
Yeah, then
basically.
go with it.
It's not.
Overhead deduction loading.
No, Yashasvi was bowling in the match simulation.
Bring him once.
And Ishan Kishan smacked him for 2 or 3 sixes.
Ishan Kishan has come back.
Yeah.
You have that right arm menace as well.
In swinging.
In swinging
Could
right.
be useful in Australia.
Never know.
Saurav Mukherjee has a comment. So much fuss about KL Rahul, Nitish Reddy, Devdutt Padikkal. People forget one. Suresh Raina played Test cricket. Okay.
Thanks
So,
to CSK and
thanks.
MS. So the bar for others is really low. But sort of again, different times. By the way, Suresh Raina is one unsung hero in white ball cricket. I think his contribution is underrated.
He was sandwiched between MS and UV.
Yeah. But Test cricket, I agree. But in those days, you're losing 4-0, 4-0 also.
He did well in Sri Lanka. Had a century there.
Yeah. Rishabh says team selection is bound for 5-0 thrashing, no less.
No, that's not happening.
5-0 is too much. 4-1.
He's saying no matter what team you select, 5-0 to you're going to get.
5-0, 4-1.
4-1.
Possible.
Wow, how generous.
You might win a match here or there. That is happening, one or two. But
One match,
I don't think India.
I don't
can
think this
win the
Australian
series.
team. They are very hungry.
See, I told you, in previously in the last dugout
So
also.
what is your? I thought it 3-2. He did
3-2.
3-2. What is your prediction?
3-2 in favor of Australia.
4-1 or 3-1. India is not winning more than one test match according to me.
Achha, okay.
I also told you that if India win this, it is going to be the greatest moment of our lives. Greatest. If India can win 3 times in
And
a
I
row.
know that lots of people are really optimistic because we were in sort of the same, even in a worse situation last time around. But I think that was very different from what this is now. That time also I remember just on the final day you needed 300 odd runs. I remember one day before that also I still remember that day very clearly. I just had a feeling this to be a chasing for sure, this to be a chasing for
Same.
sure.
Achha.
So,
Shashwat, you get the feeling in advance only.
yeah. That time I was definitely. So I was pretty sure. So that was like, because things were happening like that.
Yeah.
This time I think it's just, everyone is just hoping that things happen the same way. It can't happen like that always.
Danush has a comment that India missed the opportunity to win the 2003 BGT in Australia, who didn't have the likes of Glenn McGrath and Shane Warne.
That Sydney Test match.
Yeah.
The final test, India, it was 1-all. India could have won 2-1. 700 odd they got.
700, 5 for 7.
And then declared 200 something for 2. Totally dominant. I agree. Great chance to win.
Australia, they had Andy Bickle,
Yeah.
some Brad Williams, Brett Lee, Nathan Bracken.
Yeah. Should have won. I agree.
Had it not been for that collapse at MCG also, things would, you were 329 for 4 to 367 all out. Yeah.
Good chance, that series. Madhav says Jadeja's bowling always went. Madhav is now today is like with Jadeja is like third super chat he sent us. Yeah, we agree. Yeah, come on. Never got his dues in Australia. Ash's overall average he's given us. Agreed, sir. But Ash also changed his first over and all weren't great. Later, I think he became much better in Australian conditions. Okay, Rishabh has said the team which will play, he thinks, will be KL Jaiswal, Padikkal, Kohli, Pant, Jurel, Sundar, Nitish Reddy, Prasidh Krishna, Bumrah and Siraj. This is 99% sure. Ooh.
8 batters and 5 bowling options. Good T20 aside.
No, he's got no Jadeja.
Good T20 game.
No Jadeja, no Ashwin, no Akashdeep also. Yeah, could be. Who knows?
But KL is still there.
KL is there. Possible. Who knows? Rishabh.
I don't think anyone has a doubt that he's not playing that first test.
He is playing.
He
Yeah.
definitely is.
Yet you didn't pick him.
Yeah, it was about me picking.
You outputted me. I was picking him. Vishal Panchal joins us from the US of A. He says, batting not showing confidence. Anyways, better pick 5 bowlers to pick 20 wickets. Getting extra 15 runs won't make difference if he can't pick 20 wickets. Just to let you know, Vishal, it is actually Indian bowling that you're not worried about. So they will pick 20 wickets even with 4 bowlers. I have a feeling. It's getting runs, which is why we've gone with the kind of batting that we have. At least that's what I think. Vishal also says, drop Padikkal and Sarfraz, pick 4 fast bowlers and 1 spinner.
But bowling isn't the issue like you mentioned right now. I think bowling will pick 20 wickets, sorry.
Why so serial? If India bats, some players can boost their auction price. How will that anyway help? And by the way, what is the timing of this auction?
Just half an hour after the day ends.
No, but in the middle of a test,
Perfect,
there's
na?
a 10-day gap, no, between the two test match. You could have had it then.
No, but maybe
Ricky Ponting has also said that what timing
people
is this?
said
He's
that I'll have to
blasted.
fly back and then go back.
He's blasted that, and forget that. Daniel Vettori, the assistant coach, is going to leave the test match.
Even Ricky Ponting will
But Ricky Ponting is not a coach. He's commentator. He can go. But Daniel Vettori is assistant coach of Australia. He will be there because he's the head coach of SRF.
Maybe I think next Sunday there would be something else. Yeah?
Could have done it in the middle of the two test match.
Yeah.
It would have made all of our lives easier.
But who will really raise their prices? 23rd, the SMAT is starting. So whoever does well in the first game, automatically.
Could be any of the uncapped players.
Even
more than
SMAT,
likely.
you could have seen a few matches, no? Could have pushed the option.
Exactly. That's the whole reason you break down the Ranji Trophy for the SMAT.
I don't know.
This time.
Okay.
Hardik is coming back.
Hardik is playing
SMAT.
There you go.
The team hasn't been announced yet, but these are just like.
Yeah, he's playing. Shankar is saying if you open with Washi as Gulati had suggested, then we can go in with 4 fast bowlers. Yes, you can.
That's a good suggestion, yeah.
But then you're compromising your opening slot.
outrageous.
Anshu says, Nikhil sir, pick your all-time BGT 11. His 11 is Dravid, Hayden, Smith, Sachin, Kohli, Lakshman, Gilchrist, Vaughan, Harbhajan, McGrath, Lee/Zahir, 12th man is going to be Saurav Ganguly. Ooh, there's a good one, but Anshu, today is not the day. It's another exercise, long
After
exercise.
the BGT.
In the middle of the BGT, there'll be big gaps no, between test matches.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We shall do that. Kiran is saying, Nikhil sir, Ash, lone spinner, NKR plays, one of Harshid or Prasidh will play. No Akashdeep. Picking Sarfraz ahead of Nitish Kumar Reddy will be logicless because Nitish played A games, can be a green from the 2021 tour, irrespective of how it is. Okay, valid point.
But Green was doing that for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean there are
2-3 years, yeah.
different suggestions.
And Green, they see a lot of talent. More than we see in Nitish Reddy, they look at Green as very differently.
As a future leader.
Yeah, exactly. They fit him in, send Smith up and all of these things.
Yeah. Karthik Banta is saying, why is no one talking about Sundar? Better batter than both Ashwin and Jadeja. Current bowling form also better than Ash and Jadeja. No, again Karthik, I agree, better batter. Okay, but you need, if I'm playing one spinner, I need a proven performer. He's done well. Those Indian conditions really untested there. So no. Again, Test cricket is all about specialists. Like you want to go with them first, not just cover a bit or cover a bit there. At least that's how I see it.
Okay.
Club T20 with ODI World Cup has same and called it revenge. Olympics cold, FIFA, hockey and rugby comes once in 4 years, and Cricket World Cup, unlike Tukka T20, revenge will be when India defeats Australia in Cricket World Cup finals. Okay, rare clip, valid point. This is referring to our dugout yesterday. If you haven't checked it out, do check that out as well. It's a big debate we had, and we'll take your comments. Final comments of the evening. This comes from Praneeth. He says, by playing 4 bowlers, even if 20 wickets are picked, opposition will score above par scores, and by end of third test, fast bowlers will get injured. Who
No,
wants
but you
to
have
answer?
more fast bowlers. You have also sent in more fast bowling reserves. You're hopeful that Shami might return by then. So many positives to look at, but I think it's going to be one test match at a time. And there are huge gaps between all the test matches, barring one, the third and fourth one. There's just 4-day gap between the third and fourth one. All the other test matches have decent amount of gap. So I don't think injury is going to be a concern in that sense.
But point noted, Praneeth, what he is saying that you will allow the batting to score more runs, but you don't know. See, good pitch, 4 fast bowlers will do. Sometime on a good pitch, you actually end up underutilizing your 5th bowler. You don't need him only. 4 will easily do the job.
I think it's at the end of the day, it's going to be about who bats better, because even the Australian batting isn't in the best of the form.
And what happens in a spicy pitch?
New
Your
opener.
4 fast bowlers will do the job, 5th will be underutilized, but your batter will be utilized if you play an extra. 100%.
And they have an opener who hasn't opened yet, so they're not in any
McSweeney.
different situation.
Yeah.
Most likely he'll only open.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. Yeah, he will.
Australia might announce their 11 tomorrow. That's a possibility.
Their 11 is really straightforward.
Yeah.
We look forward to your company tomorrow from 9 a.m. onwards after the India press conference. All the latest updates. I mean, press the bell icon, then we put our videos as soon as we hear from what the Indian team is going to be doing. Australia's 11, it comes out tomorrow. Jasprit Bumrah is going to be addressing the press. So yeah, And look forward to your company throughout this BGT. As I said, just 2 sleeps away. Tomorrow we'll be back again with another edition of the Dugout, looking at that Perth test match with a lot more to talk about after the pressers are done. So for tonight, from Shashwat, Siddharth and I, thank you, good night, Shubh Ratri, Shabba Khair, Nandri, Vadakkam.
Eat your vegetables and don't trouble no.
Bye bye.